Welcome to this week's video where we're going to look at the community feed again and pick 10 great images that I found, and we can look at the image prompt and how we can regenerate it and modify it a little. So this is the MidJourney community feed. If you have a paid version, I think the smallest paid version will be okay. You will find a link here to click on it, and then your backend will appear. And if you go to explore, you have the community feed and you have hot, new, and top here. So you can go up here, and I almost all the time go on hot, and this have been upgraded, all these images, and we're gonna just together this time go through the images, and you can let me know in the comments if you have a specific image that you see here that you want me to look at and generate the image prompt. So I will pick something different than we have picked in the past, so I will not look at the same image prompt. For example, I like this pretty much. This is a very good combination. Some kind of flowers around her head and very nice photorealistic image. So again, I will click on it and I will first of all zoom in to see what we are generating, and then we look at the image prompt. And you see in some of the people will do the image prompt in this fashion. So it's much easier, it's much more separated. I will just copy this image prompt out, but I will not copy it out here because otherwise I could miss the image link or whatever they used. So it's important to go here, say copy, and I always go and full command, because then I can make sure I have copied everything. I will go back now to the MidJourney, then just copy in everything that we actually have found there, and we have the results already. Let's click on it and see it is very different, right? I would say. So this one is maybe the closest one to the image that we have seen before. And let's look at the image prompt a little. What was the image prompt? So as you see here in the image prompt, this is just some kind of a title. This is fashion photography, I don't know, F22, maybe it's to have it structured for this creator. And here is the first image prompt: a glacier mountain landscape under aurora, at night, mountain, wildflowers, glacier flowers. And if you look at the image, it's night, it's on a mountain, we don't know, but the flowers are pretty good in this one. Warm glowing orange light, pretty good here. Then we have in the windows of multiple distance scattered frostpunk shelters. I'm not sure where that is. Maybe it's here in the background. Then what we have, an adult in the foreground facing the camera. An elegant Alurine adult is facing the camera while dressed in elegant handcraft ice haut. Yeah, you see there's a lot of explanation about the dress, and then it goes on here: macro spikes, couture, rococo, glacial punk boots. Couture, rococo, I think this is the rococo stuff similar to what we see here with the flowers. So he is describing very precise the couture basically. So I think this is some kind of fashion designer describing this. Then here the last section is the camera, 6.4 DSLR, photorealism, hyperreal, retraced reflection, unreal, octane render, digital fashion photography, cinematic realism, bubbled translucent skin, natural light. And if you look at the similar ones, you see we have even nicer ones here, right? If we look at that one, for example, it's also generated very nice. And the image prompt for that is much simpler. So another image I found and I like is this one. This is pretty simple, I would say, but I like this rock and this bonsai. So let's have a look at the image, and the image prompt in this case was bonsai mountain wide angle professional photography, ultra sharp resolution, high details, extreme textures, natural light, octane rendering, 16K. All the time we can go down here to maybe even find better versions of this bonsai. If you like one more, just click on it and use that one. I will use the image prompt here now again of this image, and we will see what comes out if we use it. And like always, we do some modifications. So I will just go in image, I will copy that bonsai in, I will just remove the octane render for now so we see if we have any difference. But of course it's difficult to say if we really have a difference, because MidJourney in this case has a lot of freedom to generate the images however it wants to generate the images. So it's a little difficult to say if this just removing this prompt part did make a lot of difference. We already have generated one of them. This was the original one, and if I click on it, you see it's very different. This is the original one, so the same prompt as we used to have before, but I think it's pretty nice. Like I said, it can't be really the same because it is very open. The generation, so the image prompt gives MidJourney a lot of freedom to decide what to do, right? Here in this case, this is also nice. Here we removed just the rendering. We don't really know if it made a difference or not, right? I like this one, so we could upscale this one. Always remember, if you want to upscale, the count is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want to upscale this one. I would just click on U3, which means upscaling this version. I also found this pretty good, so I will just also use it or have a look what the image prompt was. And in this case, for us, it doesn't really matter if the image prompt is long or not. For us, the outcome counts. So Walter White in a big lab, hyperrealistic 8K. So we just copy it out. Sometimes, as you know, there is an image URL behind, and this is the key actually to generate this image because it's a reference image. But in most of the cases, you will see this is just a simple image prompt. There's not much more to it. So this is the upscale, as you see, of that image. And if you want it even bigger, you can do a detailed upscale redo here, and it will even try to make it bigger quality, better quality and bigger, but sometimes that doesn't really work. And if it doesn't work, I would recommend that you put into the image prompt or into the upscale or the remix, put in that it should be version 4B, because version 4C is very bad in upscaling. So interestingly, we have this Walter White, seems to be a person everybody or I should know as well, because it looks very similar. So it's really nice images. You see it's a very small image prompt, but still this person was captured pretty good. So I don't know who Walter White is. Maybe you know it. This is a pretty good outcome, I would say. So let's have a look at this gorilla. This really looks good. What do you say? So here we see the image prompt, photo taken with E50mm lens, cinematic realism. So in this case, you see it doesn't really matter if you put like the camera information, the lighting information, or whatever first or later on in the prompt. I usually do it later at last in the prompt, but you can decide whatever you want to. And then it says raw extreme close-up portrait of mountain mythical muscled black gorilla lion with white fur covered in old scars and wrinkles, glowing chunky rustic necklace. Here are some expressions: serious look, forward brow, hairy, handsome, wearing royal white fur robes. Natural light, high contrast fantasy art. 16K. This is a pretty good image prompt. So what I like to do, as you have seen in some of the other videos I did, I like to structure it a little better, because then you can also do the image weight much easier. But let's copy this. I really think this is a great image, and this was created by Willio, if you want to follow this guy. And then just for fun, let's make a cat out of it. Instead of gorilla, where we have it, black cat, and see what that is. We should have a little fun, right? And then we can even do something like black gorilla cat. I mean, it's a lioness there as well, right? So the first is ready. So this is pretty good. And I think it's actually even better, because it took like the white hair, the white robe, the necklace. This is very good, I would say. These are very nice images. Also, this one is pretty good. So you can clearly see here actually the mix between the lion and the monkey. And I'm curious what we created here. So this one, what is this one? This is just the creation with the as a cat. So this is basically the lion cat. It's also interesting, I would say. And the last one, we have created this monkey lion cat. The first one looks more like a human, right? This one is pretty good, I would say. These two ones are also pretty good. So it's a mix of lion and monkey. This is also a different design. I also like this. Let's have a look at it. So it's just a Lego figure, and the prompt is very minimalistic. Logo minifigure lost in the forest in the rain. Photograph, Canon, DSLR. But let's just copy the full command again and go back and generate it. Again, for fun, we're gonna do Star Wars Lego figure. So let's have a look. These are the Lego minifigures. It's funny. So it seems somehow like they tried to cover the mouse, so it's not really 100% clear that it's a Lego minifigure, but the results are pretty good. The mixture between the figure and the forest is pretty good, I would say. Then we have the Star Wars version. This is even better. What do you think? Just let me know in the comments. This is pretty good, I would say. This is some kind of Yoda version, but he is in the wrong suit, right? Now let's have a look at this Mickey Mouse style here. So the image prompt is here: cartoon wide angle, Mickey Mouse snowboarding wearing yellow goggles in a pine forest. So let's also use that. So let's have some fun and change this as well. Image Mouse snowboarding wearing yellow goggles and red dress in pine forest. Let's see how it comes out. So this is the first image prompt. As we see, some of them are pretty good, some not really. So I don't know why this should be Mickey Mouse. The others are all pretty good. So this is the best one probably on the left side. And the other one where we tried to put in the red dress. So you see in this case it didn't work. So what you could try to do is just go ahead and put it in differently. I will also do wearing red dress snowboarding. So you see it worked now because we restructured the image prompt. It didn't really work 100%, right? Here in the first one is a red dress. This is pretty close. Here it's dressed in red, but the only dress is the first one. So we have to make it even more precise, I would say, but the result is pretty okay. Now let's take a look at this wolf. Let's see what image prompt it has. If we look at it in bigger, it's pretty nice, I would say. Image prompt here seems to be dangerous, prowling wolf in the dark mist black forest. Thick hide through tanks, eerie gloomy atmosphere, stunning wildlife photography. Contrast sharp, focus vibrant, rendered in Octane 8K with volumetric light and fog. It's pretty good here, the image prompt. If we go down, we probably find even better ones. And if we look at this one, I guess we will find some emotions inside as well. So as you see here with sharp teeth, but we'll just stick to this one for now because I think it's nice and photorealistic. We'll just copy the full command again, and we will have some fun here, and we will have some fun here. Original image prompt, then image prompt, we will just replace that with my favorite animal, as you know. So we will replace the wolf. Where do we have the wolf? Imagine forest, dangerous prowling French bulldog in dark misty. So let's see what comes out here. So our wolf images are generated. This is the original image prompt. If you look at them, they're a little different, of course, but they're also pretty good. Maybe we could just put in some close up into this image prompt. So let's use the original image prompt and we put in something like close up. Just try that. And then I will try one with full body, because then also MidJourney should try to put the wolf more like in the center. And in the meantime, we can look at the bulldog, at the French bulldog. Pretty scary, as you see here. Not really, I would say. The body is a little strange. This is pretty funny. We have lightning. The ears are some lights, or they have holes, so we can see the lights through them. So here we have the image prompt generated with the full body. So here we have the close up, and you see that wolf is much closer now in 3 images at least. So I think this is a good result. And just try around. In this case, it didn't work at all. As you see here, what did we try here? Full body doesn't work because it's not the right prompt basically for that image. Just try around till you get the outcome that you need to have. I also think this is pretty good, pretty nice, this girl here. And the image prompt says here, photo portrait of wild Amerindian girl riding in Amazon rainforest, action scene, ultra wide shot, natural light, shot on Nikon FA, 35mm lens, film grain. So it's pretty good. Let's have a look if they used some kind of image URL to make it better. Imagine original image prompt. And as you see, sometimes we get an error. So it didn't understand what I put in here. So it was a problem with the aspect ratio. So I just removed a part of it. Let's just change the image prompt a little. So we can change the girl to boy, and look how photorealistic that is. That almost seems to me like it would also already be version 5 be up and running. So it's really fascinating. This is really good results, I would say. This looks also pretty funny, and it's actually pretty good. The mix of the frogs, the eyes are totally fine. The image prompt is again from Rico, pretty basic, a bright assorted stack of swamp frogs, the summer collection, ultra sharp photography. Let's try what we get as result, and let's see if they have some kind of image in the background to make the image prompt better. And again, for fun, we just change it to frogs, to cats. So our frogs are generated already, and we have a lot of frogs, as you see, a whole bunch of frogs. So they almost don't fit on the image anymore. And I'm curious, what about the cats? So it's also pretty funny, the cats here in the water, and here this is pretty funny, but not the best result. They're not that photorealistic. Back in the Explorer, I think we should also look at this one. Tony Stark covered in ribbons, soft pastel colors, Marvel comic style. And as you see, it's pretty good to remind you if you want to make versions of this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. And the upscaling, if you want to make it bigger, this would upscale image number 1. This would make more versions of image number 1. This is how it works. So let's do one last one. Let's use this nice lady here and to see how she was generated. Smiling emo super soldier, Chelt Diolf. Natural graven patterns etched all over her gorgeous face. Dramatic light. Let's see if there's an image behind this or if this is just generated by the image prompt. And we can do one more and just change something in the image prompt. For me, it's important that you see how easy it is to change something, how to use it. And here also, this is important, or this could be interesting for you. You see that there's image weight in it. So natural graphene patterns, so that the patterns that are engraved in her skin are actually prioritized by 1.5. This means like a normal image weight is 1, and by increasing it to 1.5, it should be in the image quite strong. So if you're not getting the result, you can modify it. So if I remove this, we can just have a look what impact it has actually on the image. So in this case, if I click on it, and you see, interestingly, our results are much younger, right? And they are very different. All of them have something engraved or some coloring. For us, it looks like more coloring. So, but our images are very different. So I'm curious, but I can't see in the original image prompt, I can't see an image link. So this was generated by the same image prompt, but because it's not much of an image prompt, it's very free. Again, we get a much younger child here, or a much younger woman. So we could, if we have the problem about that, we could just define her age. So just copy in the original image prompt at the age of, what we take, 25. By the way, this is pretty good. So faces are pretty good. So I wonder if they already did some updating in the face. These faces look like they almost generated with version 5. Here we still see that the eyes are not 100% correct, but everything else is pretty good, I would say. So I'm not sure if this, yeah, this could be age 25. To be sure that this is working, I will actually try another one. And we change the age to, let's say, 97 to see if it works. So as you see, it works pretty well. So this is clearly a woman at this age we put in. And like you saw, I didn't care too much where I put it, right? If it doesn't work, you need to look at the image prompt, but don't worry too much. The results are pretty good, I would say, and I have the outcome that I wanted. I don't need to make rocket science out of it. So I hope that it was useful. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a like and comment in the comment section below. What do you think? What do you want me to look at in the next videos? All the best for you, and see you in the next video. Bye bye. See you.